Good afternoon, my name is Peter Pychtin and I'm here on behalf of the Live and Learn Foundation. And I've got to say, first of all, it's really fabulous to see so many people here, especially at this time of the afternoon when I know a lot of people are thinking about heading out. So it's great. But let me tell you, first of all, that you are people of power and influence. Whether you're representing your own organisation today or an individual passionate about making a difference, you have the power to make a positive change. Your presence at this CSR summit speaks for your own personal commitment. But whatever you do, don't underestimate the tremendous influence just one person can have. Combine that with persistence and passion, and it's enormous. I want to share with you the exciting story of the Live and Learn Foundation this afternoon, which in itself is a story of persistence and passion for all of the people who've been involved in it. And I'd like to briefly explain how I personally became involved in Live and Learn. Because when I left the corporate world in the late 1990s to start my own company, the absolute last thing I would have expected was to be standing here today talking with you about corporate social responsibility. Young professionals are certainly switched on, and to advance their careers, they readily turn to organisations like mine to seek advice. And at a personal level for me, dealing with them, I certainly get a real buzz out of it and really value being able to help young people grow and to achieve their goals. Not long after I started my business, I was at a university speaking with student careers advisors. I was proudly explaining how my company recruited only the top 20% of their graduates to go and work for blue chip companies. Now, I was feeling pretty good about that, and while they seemed impressed, one of the careers advisors said to me, "Well, that's fine for you to take the cream of our graduates, but what are you doing about the rest of our candidates, our graduates?" Well, I was stopped in my tracks, and to be honest, I didn't have an answer. Sure, helping the not-so-clever graduates wasn't part of my business model, but you'd all know in business that you can't be everything to everyone. But the question continued to nag at me and haunt me. What was I doing to help others? Here I was helping super talented young people with the world at their feet. Yet, in many ways, they were the ones who needed the least help. And how could I use my business expertise and my knowledge to actually help younger people who really did need a hand? And in fact, I'm sure many organisations, many corporates here face that same type of question. How do you use the business expertise and knowledge within your organisation? The answer for me came in 2001 when a business colleague said I might be interested in a newly established not-for-profit group called the Live and Learn Foundation. Essentially, Live and Learn's mission is to help disadvantaged youth achieve independence, and it's broadly modelled off a successful European program. And what really struck a chord for me about Live and Learn back then and now is that it helps young people who want help. These are people who want to achieve, no different to the high-flying young professionals I deal with daily. Let me tell you how Live and Learn works. The purpose of the foundation is to help disadvantaged youth develop life skills, achieve independent living through housing and innovative programs to support education, employment and gaining those basic life skills. Our target group is 16 to 25-year-olds who want to continue their education but are at real risk of homelessness. The Live and Learn facility, which is our first, is a campus-style building of 28 self-contained one-bedroom units located in the Sydney suburb of Miller, which is just near Liverpool in Sydney's southwest. The campus includes common rooms and pretty sophisticated computer facilities. And each resident makes a weekly payment to cover their rent and their participation in the Live and Learn development programs. We've established partnerships with many local community groups, including New South Wales TAFE and the Liverpool City Council, and have pioneered an outstanding breakthrough mentor program which draws on trained volunteers from local business and organisations. And this has proven to be highly successful and is available to people outside of the Live and Learn resident group as well. After a number of tough years, and they were tough years to get Live and Learn up and running, we can proudly claim 18 months of success at Miller. In that time, there have been some tremendous outcomes achieved by the residents of Live and Learn. I'd like to share some of those with you. 80% of our residents have successfully advanced their education, be it at high school, TAFE, or even into university. And remember, these are people who were at real risk of dropping out of the education system. So 80% of them have continued and advanced their education. 3/4 have now gained employment of some form. Half of the residents gained their very first job while living at the campus. And this is in a community with 25% unemployment. So it's a pretty outstanding result. There we go. And after an average stay of about 7 months at the campus, 80% of residents who completed their stay at Live and Learn have gone on to live independently, or in some instances to return to live with their families. But these are tremendous results for people who are on the verge of, falling through the welfare crack and missing out on education and some of the other essential things in their young lives. While the human outcomes are paramount, the financials are also pretty impressive. The net operating cost for a resident at Live and Learn is around $5,000, and that's way below the cost of traditional welfare housing services. And it's also not a welfare subsidy. It's a small investment. I repeat that, it's an investment to help a young person out of the welfare trap to become a lifelong contributor to Australian society. Now think about this as a business proposition. Make a one-off $5,000 investment now to avoid recurring expenditure that amounts to hundreds of thousands of dollars. Do you think your finance people would say yes? Yeah, of course they would in an instant. Imagine then saying that the $5,000 investment will also generate a positive return in itself. Well, that's because the young person is now paying taxes as a productive member of society. The decision in an investment like this is a no-brainer. Live and Learn is an outstanding social and economic model. We've had independent research conducted by the Australian Housing and Urban Research Institute earlier this year. Have a look at Live and Learn and what we're doing. And their report basically said the positive outcomes reported by the current residents should be testament enough that this model deserves further support as a preventative measure to bridge the transition from uncertain housing and life chances to more secure futures for vulnerable young people. Now, to date, the foundation has been driven by a small volunteer board with representatives from small business, the New South Wales State Government, the New South Wales Youth Accommodation Association, and one of our unions, the CFMEU. It's been hard work, and many times our team has had to draw on every reserve of our passion and persistence. But we've got Live and Learn up and running and have proven that it works. Our next step is to expand nationally with much broader support from corporate business and all levels of government. That's another challenge, but that's also one that we'll overcome as well. I hope that our story lets you see what passion and persistence can achieve, but I also want to remind you of the special power and influence you command within your own organisation. I'd encourage you to become a champion of corporate social responsibility, a true champion. Be persistent, be passionate, and make it happen within your own organisation. Thank you.